My God, I hate drugs.
Armed Forces Chief General Carlito Galvez is due to retire in a week, but he may just end his military career with a case before the ombudsman. This after he lashed out at party list representative Franz Castro, openly accusing her of being an active member of the communist movement. Our senior correspondent David Santos tells us more.
While defending his men, General Carlito Galvez on Monday criticized ACT Teachers Party List representative Franz Castro and former Congressman Ocampo over the incident in Talaingod, Davao del Norte. The military and police arrested Castro, Ocampo, and several others last November 28 on charges of trafficking and kidnapping lumad children. They all have been released on bail.
Trying to bring them to Tagum is in connection with this celebration that they want to make it bongga ba. Maraming bata sa sumusuporta. They will invite international media to make a big spectacle.
Defense Chief Delfin Lorenzana is referring to the 50th anniversary of the Communist Party of the Philippines this month.
Ito yung talagang patunay na talagang ito si Castro at saka itong si Ocampo, they are active members of the CPP-NPA. Nahuli natin si Ladlag, nahuli natin si Silva, wala na silang tao na magamit. Kaya dito talaga, sa Ocampo is now doing it actively kasi wala nang silang mautusan dun sa baba.
On behalf of Ocampo and their companions, Congresswoman Castro tells CNN Philippines they are vehemently denying Galvez's allegations.
Dangerous itong ginagawa ng AFP na red tagging kahit na kami na miyembro na mismo ng House of Representatives, ibinoto ng mamamayan at nire-red tag kami.
Nilalagay niya na sa alanganin ang buhay ni Kaso, ni Representative Franz, in the context na sinabi mismo ni Pangulong Duterte na magtatayo na siya ng Duterte Death Squad, na ang mga target ay yung mga katulad ng binabanggit ni Galvez.
The left-leaning Makabayan bloc to which Castro belongs is eyeing charges against General Galvez before the ombudsman. If the case is indeed filed, it could compromise Galvez's retirement benefits since he is due to retire next week. But AFP insiders say that's not likely to happen since Galvez has been issued an ombudsman clearance months ago. David Santos, CNN Philippines.
The world's most popular cities based on international tourism arrivals have been revealed, and topping the list is Hong Kong. Close to 30 million tourists are expected to visit the Hong Kong region before the year is out, and more than half of them will be from the Chinese mainland. Other cities that came on top of the list include Bangkok, London, Singapore, and Macau. Paris, Dubai, New York, Kuala Lumpur, and Shenzhen. Well, the rankings were made by UK-based market research company Euromonitor International. Global air traffic has been rising steadily, and Euromonitor says global inbound arrivals are expected to grow by 5% this year. And former U.S. First Lady Michelle Obama surprised a crowd on her book tour, dropping an S-bomb to describe the concept of leaning in. It was a moment of candor that delighted many and provided a reality check for the room. CNN's Jeannie Mu swears by this story.
Remember when Michelle Obama made this motto famous?
When they go low, we go high. Always going high when they go low.
But what about going a bit low when it comes to language? Using a word many of us use privately, say a dozen or so times a day. Before a sold-out crowd at an arena in Brooklyn.
A new survey shows a steady increase in the number of Filipinos using the internet. The poll by the social weather station shows 41%, or around 4 out of 10 Filipino adults, are internet users. This is just 1 point higher than the 40% recorded in June. The survey also shows internet use has always been highest in Metro Manila and in urban areas since this poll was first conducted in 2006.
SWS says these internet users are mostly women, younger Filipinos, and college graduates. The survey was conducted from September 15 to 23 among 1,500 respondents.
I'm surprised about the women, though.
Why?
Yeah, you think?
Shopping online. You were just telling us about it during the
naman ang shopping. But I would think maybe the men, because of work, or I guess it just goes both ways. But the women, the kids, I expected.
Social media. Maybe.
Social media.
Yes,
Okay, so
yes,
that would be more.
Yeah.
Kids, college kids, obviously that's to be expected. I would be worried if that demographic wasn't included in the survey. But I wonder how that compares with percentages around the world. Because if we're at 40%, what are other emerging economies doing as well?
That's right. Like, where do we stand when it comes to internet usage, like around the world? That's why people have been clamoring for faster internet.
That's right.
Internet speeds here in the country, because as the numbers show, numbers don't lie. 41%. That's huge. That's a big number with Filipinos using the internet. And nowadays, it's all online. If you think about it, everything is online. Especially with social media as well. You can also live stream. There are movies online. Social media, Twitter, Instagram,
Facebook online,
website.
right now,
yes, we're on Facebook Live as we speak.
Yeah, we get to interact with our viewers that way, which I love. And it also changes the way people relate with one another. You have teenagers. I'm sure you've heard your kids say their friends are in a textationship.
What?
Well, I haven't heard that one, but I mean, there's always a good side and the bad side of the social media usage. I find myself being more, and my husband and myself, like policing the kids. Guys, 9:30, no more. I mean, we literally have to stop like the internet and just turn it off. Just say, guys, that's it.
What was the term you used again?
Textation.
I'll look into that. This is New Day on CNN Philippines. The Armed Forces Chief may just face a case, and right before his retirement too. New Day.
Budget Secretary Ben Jocno says President Rodrigo Duterte has approved the additional fuel excise tax next year as recommended by economic managers. In a text message, Jocno says the premise for suspending the additional tax, namely high fuel prices, does not exist. He adds the tax impact will be negligible because of substantially low pump prices. He also points out that revenue losses may reach 43.4 billion pesos without the tax, a big amount that is needed to fund the Build infrastructure program. Presidential spokesperson Sal Panelo says while the oil excise tax increase is a negligible contributor to inflation, the government still commits to providing financial assistance to the 50% poorest households. Meantime, in sports, the big story, Ateneo taking on UP in Game 2 of the UAAP Men's Basketball Finals. The second batch of the best-of-3 Battle of Katipunan series is on tap at 3:30 p.m. at the Smart Araneta Coliseum in Quezon City. The Blue Eagles, now one win away from their second straight championship, look to complete a sweep of the finals this afternoon. But the Fighting Maroons hope to bounce back and force a do-or-die Game 3 of the UAAP title. The House of Representatives approves on second the final draft federal constitution pushed by House Speaker Gloria Arroyo. The measure was passed through viva voce, or voice voting. Arroyo has conceded that Congress cannot pass charter change under her watch, but she says the lawmakers will bring it as far as they can, hoping that the next Congress will be able to pass it. Arroyo's draft was controversial for a number of reasons. These include the removal of term limits for lawmakers and the lack of an anti-political dynasty provision. Senators say there is no more time to tackle charter change because of the deliberations for the 2019 proposed budget. Meantime, Vice President Leni Robredo says instead of politics, Congress should focus on passing laws that would bring down the prices of basic goods. The Supreme Court submits 4 names to the Judicial and Bar Council, or JBC, for the Associate Justice post. They are Court of Appeals Justices Manuel Barrios, Ramon Bato, Ramon Garcia, and Court Administrator Midas Marquez. The vote of the justices is purely recommendatory. It's still up to the JBC to come up with its short list from which the President will choose his next appointee. Supreme Court Associate Justice Noel Tiham will retire on January 19th. Defense Secretary Delfin Lorenzana says there is a need to further extend martial law in Mindanao. In an interview on The Source, Lorenzana says remnants of terrorist groups in Mindanao need to be completely eradicated. He says authorities are also validating reports of terrorists coming into the country from Indonesia and Malaysia.
There are still terrorists lurking around Mindanao. There's still remnants of Maute. Since they're already small, it's very difficult to look for them. They're still in central Mindanao. Some of them are being protected by the BIFF. in central in the Ligwas and Mars area. There are still Abu Sayyaf in Holo and Basilan. Not so much in Tawi-Tawi. Tawi-Tawi is a little bit more peaceful than the two other islands. So that's one. Second is the BOL plebiscite will occur in January 19. And I think we should be there also to protect the plebiscite. And then there is this midterm election. I would follow the recommendation of the Chief of Staff. I would also recommend the extension of martial law for another year. Advance Malacanang has submitted the letter to Congress because the law says that the President should ask Congress for the extension. So we are going to appear before Congress and explain to them why we need another extension of martial law.
Lorenzana assures the public they will not recommend a nationwide martial law.